So we're at Tech Tactics West, and we just learned about a new classic product. Actually, it's been in the pipeline for a while, and in Europe they've actually have a version of what we're about to see that's available, but hasn't been available in the US just yet. But we're here, it's coming soon, and we want to share with you what it is, and that is the Classic Radio. It's a DIN-size radio. For those of us that have older Porsches, there really hasn't been an option out in the aftermarket that really fits into the decor of the interior of an early 911 or 924, 944. The universal DIN size head unit here, it is universal in terms of size, but all the radios today that have the Bluetooth and all the other features that we're accustomed to, they're kind of more of a glitzy radio, and it just doesn't fit into the interior of our car. So the solution is the Classic Radio, and we have Bucky Melvin here, and he'll tell you a little bit about this radio and when it'll be available for us.
So this is our Porsche Classic Radio navigation. This is the second version. So this one will be available in the first quarter of 2016 for any cars that are up to 993 and back, except for 356. It will not be for 356 or 9X6s. But for the other cars, it's a plug-and-play unit with navigation. It has Bluetooth, A2DP streaming. It has Bluetooth telephone. It is XM Sirius ready. So if you want to purchase an XM Sirius module, it'll plug into the back of it and work just fine. It has a media dock for iPod and USB and AUX.
Now with this unit, you can hook up with a direct wire to your iPhone, or you can stream through Bluetooth. You can actually use it as a speakerphone, so to speak, inside your car. It looks and fits with the rest of the buttons and knobs, and I actually think this kit comes with different knobs that you can adapt to if you have an earlier car versus a later model, so it's with chrome trim, or you have just a standard black. Now the question that I had was, a lot of folks have modified their radios in their older cars just because they needed to adapt a modern radio to it. This is supposed to be plug and play, so the harness hopefully in your car is still intact and it hasn't been hacked. If it has been hacked, I'm assuming you have to find those old plugs, make sure you connect them back to that they were originally, because the plugs behind this radio matches the original harness, not the harness that may be there now, correct?
Correct. It's an ISO connector, which is made to go onto the factory connectors on the end of your audio harness in your vehicle the day it was built. There would be an adapter required for one of the older vehicles. However, most of them just go straight plug and play. So as long as your harness is intact from the factory, you should have no issues.
Now, in terms of power for this head unit, there's a built-in amplifier, and how much power does it put out?
It's 45 watts, 4 channels.
All right, and it's a touch screen. How do you update the maps and such, since it's all integrated?
The maps are updated via an SD card, so there's 2 slots. There's a map slot, and then there's an SD slot. The map slot will handle your map updates, and the SD slot is good for other material. If you want to put MP3s on a localized micro SD, it'll play them from there like a hard drive.
So the head unit itself will mount into the dash pretty easily because it's a standard size. Now you'll have to run your GPS antenna either on top of your car or down the side and on the back. And let's see, you might have to run a microphone probably up top of the windshield so it's close to where you're speaking. And then there's this second module that I see here that has the USB and iPod. Now, how does that integrate?
The media box is also an option. So optionally, you can run the Sirius XM. You can also run the optional media box, and you can run the external microphone. The media box, if you decide to run that, will handle the iPod hookup, the USB hard drive hookup, and the AUX hookup. Goes straight to the back of it, and you can put that either in the center stack or in your glove box if you want to hide it. There's about, I don't know exactly the length of the cable, but it should be enough to be able to hide it where you want it.
Now, this product, we've seen it before. You've brought it to Parade. I believe we saw it at Run Sport Reunion 5. So we've been waiting for it. And I know the release date isn't exact, and we're hoping for being available for first quarter 2016. Can you tell us why? What's the delay?
We have to get deregulated, so there's all the legal issues, the map updates, the software. There's a lot of testing. We want to make sure this unit, when it goes to market, is the quality product they expect to purchase. So there's a lot of testing in units for the employee cars at PCA, the cars we have rolling around. So we had to find people with classic cars to be able to put miles in them, run the test, and that takes a lot of time to make sure that all the software bugs are flushed out before it goes out to the average user.
Now, I know there's a Gen 1 version that you had that was in Europe. The Generation 2 version in Europe is already out. And I think a lot of folks that saw this at either Parade or Rennsport Reunion probably started searching for this classic radio and found European versions available and tried to buy them. I don't know whether or not they've gotten them, but can you tell me the difference between a European version versus the US one?
The digital audio broadcasting for Europe is in theirs. Theirs is also not XM Sirius ready. So, and the maps, the language, it would have the Queen's English. So it'd be UK English. It wouldn't be US. It wouldn't have the Canadian French, and it's just not US spec. So it's got to pass our stuff.
Well, there you have it. The new classic radio matches perfectly inside a classic Porsche.